Paul did a lot to manipulate this situation, only allowing Bronny to work out for the Suns and the Lakers. Talk a little bit about his involvement and how it led to Bronny James being drafted by them.
Yeah, it's nothing new. Agents do this all the time. It's not just Rich Paul. And I think certainly when we get to the second round, it's not about best available. It's about who wants to sign a two-way contract, who wants not to get drafted. We saw Austin Reeves' agent navigated him not to get drafted so he can wind up with the Los Angeles Lakers on a two-way contract. So I think it's magnified because it's Rich Paul and it's Bronny James here, but this is nothing new. And to the point of getting drafted in the second round, last year there were 25 players selected in the second round. There was one who played significant minutes, was Gigi Jackson, and he was on a two-way contract to start it. So if Bronny James went 17, we're having a discussion.
Yes.
We're having a discussion as far as, hey, or at Phoenix at 22, we're having a discussion about how he probably is not helping them right now. But at 55, I understand the magnitude of it here, but I have no issue at all with it.
James has done everything that it requires to get the opportunity. Now it's time for him to take that next step. And Jay, I loved your honesty about nepotism because we've seen it in this world everywhere. When you look at the NFL and coaching trees, there's always a Belichick, there's always a Shanahan. Sean McVay knew a person that got him a job with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so all of these things work in this way. African Americans haven't been afforded that because that's not the history of this country.
Yes.
And so for LeBron James to come in with more scrutiny than any player all time in the NBA, to never have a scandal, to follow the script, and to exceed expectations as a player, he's earned this opportunity. But Bronny James also earned it with the way that he's worked, with the way that he's presented, and with the way that he's respected the game of basketball. But now it's about what can Bronny James do for this team. He won't be asked to do a lot early, but how can he become a contributor?
Well, first and foremost, I can say this about the 55th pick in this draft. Bronny James is probably the most mentally ready for the NBA than any other player in the draft because of the experience that comes along with his father, being in the gym, being in the locker room, understanding how to communicate, that work ethic. He's been working out like a pro since he's been a young kid. Look, I think he has some elite athletic abilities. I think defensively is where he could be a difference maker. And let's be honest about it. He can shoot the rock. When you can shoot the ball like a C.J. McCollum, and I'm not saying his handle is anywhere close to C.J., but when you can space the floor and you have a high basketball IQ and you understand where, Jalen Rose used to say this line to me all the time, C.J., get in where you can fit in.
Yeah.
I think Bronny understands where he can get in so he can fit in.
Yeah.
But the reality is he's not going to be playing a lot of minutes with the Lakers. He's going to be in the G League. He's going to have to figure it out.
Well, and this is why the month of July is going to be important here. They're going to get together in a couple days as far as mini camp. They're going to go to Sacramento for Summer League. Then they're going to go to Vegas for Summer League. They'll have a little bit of time off, and then August and September they're going to ramp up here, and he's going to get a crash course. I remember, and I think a lot will be made of his first game. I remember we watched Victor last year, Wembanyama. Everyone was like, "Oh my God,
yeah,
this guy's a franchise guy."
Yeah.
And look what happened to him. And I'm not equating it to Bronny James, but there's going to be a spotlight on him. And when I've talked to him, he realizes it. Carve his own identity. That's been the message here, and it's going to, certainly will be a challenge for that.
Can I say this real quick though? The amount of scrutiny and criticism that's going to go on the Lakers this year, we thought we talked about the Lakers a lot last year and years where it won't not matter. The fact that we now have J.J. Redick, we now have Bronny James, we have LeBron James who's going to potentially sign a 3-year deal. Is D'Lo going to opt out? Like the Lake Show is really like a reality TV show on Bravo. That's what it feels like because that's the amount of attention it's going to get this season.
CJ, how does that play in the locker room then?
I don't think there's going to be any issues in the locker room because you follow the leader, and you have arguably the greatest player of all time as the leader. You got Anthony Davis. They have signed off on this. They are empowering decisions that are being made within the organization. JJ's job is to coach. The best player's job is to manage the team. You follow the culture. You follow the fit, the work ethic, the preparation. They're all going to fall in line because Bronny is a mature young man. He's humble. He is not going to make things about himself. He's going to follow and do what he's supposed to do. And I think it starts with the work ethic. When you're a rookie, your job is to come in and blend in. As you said before, getting where you fit in. And I had to get the donuts. There was no Postmates. There was no Uber. There was no Uber Eats. I had to physically drive and get donuts, coffee, breakfast sandwiches, whatever LaMarcus Aldridge and Mo Williams wanted, I delivered. I was Johnny on the spot. And I think you have to play your role early on and develop, gain the respect of your peers, and then they will be big brother to you, right? They'll mentor you, mold you, give you gems, and who better to get gems from than the guy who gets to the arena 5 hours before the game as a 39-year-old in year 22.
Yeah, Bob, how do you handle the spotlight that'll be on the team as an executive?
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing. And I think a lot of it will be that the Lakers, he's going to be with South Bay, their G League team. As Jay said, he'll sign a 3 or 4 year contract. It won't be a 2-way contract, so we can dismiss that there. But I think certainly when the season gets going, he will be with South Bay. Dalton Connect will be with him too. He was picked 17. So that's going to be, and they got to get reps, they got to get development. So he's going to be probably shielded more away from the parent club here.
Yeah, I think also, too, it's about the way you let him and allow him to approach the spotlight, understanding that it's going to be about team. He will always speak about team first because that's the way that he grew up in the James household. He's more prepared for this moment, to me, than anyone else in the entire draft. This has been his life. This has not just been basketball. But
wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA on the